Hi, I'm Mary Morrissey. Today's a very important day. It's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Now, I didn't have the privilege of meeting Martin Luther King Jr., but I had the privilege of working with his children and Gandhi's grandchildren in a project at the United Nations where we co-created something called a Season for Nonviolence. Martin Luther King was highly inspired and then transformed through the work of Mahatma Gandhi. Martin Luther King, as he said he would help lead the civil rights movement and ultimately become the leader of the movement, he knew that the methodology he had was not strong enough to really lead people in a way that would be taken seriously and actually possibly bring the kind of transformation that the movement deeply longed for. So what did he do? He found a place of insecurity in himself. We all find places of insecurity in ourselves. Do we shrink from the opportunity, or do we find a mentor? And Martin Luther King found a mentor in the story of Gandhi, and not only the story of Gandhi, he decided to interview everybody he could interview who knew Gandhi. He even went to India and gained access, as no person, no American had ever done before, to have a 3-day private, silent retreat in the meditation hut where Gandhi had prayed before he launched the Salt March. And so it was in that 3 days that Martin Luther King recognized that when Gandhi talked about a kind of power that's greater than violence, a kind of power that liberates us from trying to fight evil with evil and fight darkness with darkness. He called that power satyagraha. It was the execution of a way of being in the world from a power inside oneself. That power inside oneself in Hindi is called ahimsa. And Martin Luther King, a devout Christian, wanted to know about ahimsa and satyagraha because he believed those came from the one God, one power, one presence. And he employed that and he practiced that and he brought it back to the US, and you and I are the inheritors of what he learned and what he brought forth. One of the things that he learned came from one of Gandhi's grandchildren. Gandhi's grandchild, a man named Arun Gandhi, tells a story about his father, who was the son of Gandhi. And they had moved to South Africa, and they were living there, and he was being raised there. And he was 13 when his father, and they lived 18 miles out of town. And the father said, "Come with me, we're going into town. You can go get the groceries for your mother. I'm getting the car repaired, and I have some business meetings to have in town." So they went into town, and it would have been okay for him to go to a movie once he had gotten the groceries. But this day, he not only got the groceries and went to one movie, he decided he would stay for part of a second movie. And in staying for part of the second movie, this young 13-year-old got distracted and he watched the entire movie. And now when he came out of the movie theater, he realized he was an hour late picking up his father, and that his job had been to go get the repaired car and go pick up the father at the place where he'd been having his business meetings. So he ran from the movie theater, got the repaired car, and then went to get the father. When the father came out, he said, "You're so late." And Arun Gandhi said, "I have no idea why I did this, but in that moment, I decided to lie to my father. And I told my father, oh, the repair place was late. It didn't have the car ready. It just got ready now. That's why I'm getting here at this time." And the father looked at his son and he said, "Arun, I was worried about you when you didn't get here. I called the repair place. I know that you were just late getting there to get the car. The car was ready before 5 o'clock. And Arun just felt horrible that it was the first time he could ever remember lying to his father. And the father said, "I will not be riding home in the car with you. I must walk home tonight." And Arun says, "No, it's 18 miles. You can't walk home." He says, "I must walk home tonight to find whatever I have done that would ever cause you to feel like you have to lie to me. There's some bad parenting mistake I've made, some horrible father thing I've done that would leave you feeling like you have to lie to me. So I will not ride in the car with you. I'll be walking home." And the father set out on foot, walking. And for 18 miles, Arun, not wanting his father to walk in the dark, followed his father with the car, shining the lights, the headlights, upon the road so that his father would have light to walk in. It would be later that Arun would recognize what a powerful parenting move his father had done and what great love looked like. Because while the father was walking saying, "I'm the one who's made some kind of mistake that you felt you needed to lie," that 18-mile journey gave the son also time to think and contemplate and feel the love of his father, who so wanted to be a kind of father his son would never want to lie to. It made him be a son who would never want to lie to his father. Now, there are many, many contributions that Martin Luther King Jr. made to the United States of America and to the whole world. And he leaves those inside some of his famous quotes. But what I know is you and I can embody a nonviolent way of transforming our lives, our families, our workplaces. So easy to get into bitterness and revenge and blaming and accusation and building a score sheet about who did what and rehearsing that score sheet until we feel really righteous. And it creates separation, it creates discord, it doesn't create deep down what any of us want. So as you perhaps celebrate this holiday, one of the best ways for us to celebrate any holiday is to embody the meaning of that holiday. So let's take 3 of Martin Luther King's quotes today in honor of him, in honor of his work, and in honor of the spiritual principles that lived by means of him and are shining bright in our world today and can shine personally very bright in our lives. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. He said, if you can't fly, then run. And if you can't run, then walk. And if you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. He said, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. And the last one, of course, that we've heard many times, I dream of a world in which my 4 little children will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Martin Luther King helped all of us learn to develop perhaps another kind of character where we stand up for the things we believe in, and the way we stand up is with love and caring and a calling for a world we all want to live in. So I wish you a very, very happy celebration of Martin Luther King Day. And perhaps there's a quote that you really like that he spoke, or something you learned by means of his impact in the world. If you've enjoyed this video, then go ahead and share it. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already done that. Here's a question for you. Yes, Martin Luther King's somebody who's always inspired me. And if you don't have a quote of his, who's someone who's inspired you or inspires you now? It could be somebody famous, it could be somebody in your life. But if you'll go ahead and share your thoughts with me in the comment section below, not only would I love to hear from you, but everyone who's on this channel would love to hear who inspires you. And we can raise the inspiration set point today by sharing our inspiring stories. I want to thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.